Okay, everybody. So I'm going to walk you through my experience here in Thailand with the healthcare system. I had a little bacteria infection, and it was actually getting me to the point where I was having a hard time functioning, and I had some really bad pain in my joints. So, one of the things that visitors worry about is what's going to happen if they get sick in another country. And I want to walk you through my experience here in Thailand so that hopefully more of you will take the jump and travel. It's the best thing that you will ever do in your life to get to see other cultures than America. So, as usual, I'm going to start you with a landmark, start you at a landmark and walk you through everything that I went through and give me my opinions and ideas, and hopefully that'll help you guys out. Here we go, starting out at the Hilton. That's a massive digger in front of us going through Soy Bacau. This place is a combination of technology and heavy equipment and cheap labor. Okay, so here is the clinic that had such, it's called Verinda Clinic. It had some pretty good reviews. Some of the clinics in Thailand, they look kind of dirty, and I'm sure they're probably not, on the inside, and all the locals go to them and all that, but being a Westerner and being a bloodborne pathogen, but this one here was closed. So I turned around and right behind me over here was Pattaya Hospital, and this is where I ended up. This is where I ended up going. This is where I ended up walking into. So, so I just basically looked around here, saw Pattaya Hospital right there, saw a little entrance, and you almost can't even get in that entrance right now. They've got sandbags up and stuff. They must be expecting some heavy rain. But I rode my bike in back there, and it was kind of odd because there really wasn't a place back there for you to ride your bike or to park. And I'm comfortable enough with Thailand now to know that you just keep going. So I don't know if you can see it back there, but there's a little tiny space in between two gates. I rode my motorcycle in there, I turned to the right, I saw a couple motorcycles parked, and I just parked my bike and I walked into the emergency room. So I walked into Pattaya Hospital and walked up to what looked like the emergency room. I'm not going to go back there, obviously, for privacy reasons. But I walked into the emergency room, and you know, I'm pretty used to the language barrier here, and so I walked up to information. Of course, they were having a hard time understanding what I was what I wanted. They at first, it kind of looked like they were going to turn me away, but then they asked me some more questions. They asked me if I had a fever, and they're obviously worried about the COVID stuff. And I told them no, but I'm not feeling good here, and you know, I have this. And so they let me in. They gave me a number. I sat down. First lady asked me questions, and then at the end of the questions, she told me to go up to a window to pay. Basically, you have to give them a deposit. And so I kind of figured out what they were asking me, even though I didn't understand the words they were saying. And so I gave this lady a 1,500 baht deposit, which is roughly, let's see, $28 per thousand. So 38, so $45 deposit is what I gave her. And then she sent me over to another chair, and that chair was like a pre-doctor visit questionnaire station. And so they went through all the questions, and they asked me, you know, everything, and I gave them the answers. And then I also gave them my input. I was like, can I get a blood panel done, blood test done? Can I get a urine test done? Can I get everything checked out? And so I really didn't know what was going to happen at that point. They sent me to another window, and this all happened really quick. So it wasn't like I was there waiting in an emergency room for very long. They weren't super busy, but still, I expect things to take a while when you go to a hospital. That's how it always works in America. But actually, I went through pretty quick. My longest wait was about, I would say, maybe 10 to 15 minutes waiting for the doctor to diagnose me, or not to diagnose me, but to decide what they were going to do. And so I waited, and then I went and I saw a doctor, and they explained to me that it was the weekend. There was no specialists working. There was only general practice doctors working, and that they don't do certain surgeries if there was an emergency and they had to operate on me like right then or something like that, they would have to send me to another hospital. They usually send people to a hospital in Jomtien, which is part of Pattaya, but it's a different section of Pattaya. So I understood that, and I said, okay, thank you so much. And so then the doctor set me up for a blood test to go to the lab, basically, and to do a blood test and also a urine test. So I went to the lab. They took my blood, I gave them my urine, and I came out, and they said, okay, go somewhere, go have coffee somewhere for 2 hours and come back. I was like, that sounds like a little quicker than America. it's never that fast in America. So I was like, okay, great. So I basically went back to my condo, and I cleaned my condo up because I hadn't had much energy. Now I'm like getting stuff done, I'm getting things handled, so I'm feeling like, you know, I'm making progress, and I had to clean up, man. So I cleaned up, a couple hours went by. I think I let 3 hours go by, and I got quite a bit of cleaning done in my condo. So then I come back, and I go in. They have me sit and wait for the doctor to come back, and so the doctor comes back. It's now 5 o'clock. I started this process at 1 o'clock, looking to go to the clinic, and it's now 5 o'clock, and I'm sitting there waiting for the doctor to diagnose my results from my blood panel. And so the doctor pulls me in, and he's going up and down, he's reading the screen of the computer, and I can't handle the suspense any longer. So I'm like, doctor, what are my results? And he goes down, and he prints out the results, and he shows me everything's negative, all the way down to the bottom. And he goes, you have bacteria infection. I said, oh, thank you. That's what, I mean, we always think the worst, so I was actually kind of happy that that's what it was. I've heard Thai people talk about the bacteria infections out here, so I know they occur, and I also know that bacteria infection can be deadly, especially if it's MRSA or something like that. But also at the same time, I figured it probably wasn't that bad. Intuitively, that's how I felt. So they gave me, he prescribed antibiotics, and he told me to take one in the morning, one at night with my meals for 7 days. And he said, if you feel better after 7 days, you don't have to come back. He said, if you don't, then come back here. So I was like, okay, perfect. You know, so 7 days in Thailand, I need to be a good boy and rest and follow my instructions from my doctor and you know, do the deal. No problem. So I'm done. Today I actually took my last pill. I feel 1000% better. And so now I'm in the hospital. Going back to last week, I'm in the hospital, and I'm done with the doctor. He's giving me my paperwork. Also, he gave me a copy of the blood panel, which is a good thing out here, because sometimes they might ask you for stuff, and if you already have it done, then that's a good thing. So I got that. So I went up to the window. They sent me to the window where I gave them the 1,500 baht, the $45 deposit, and I'm expecting to pay some money. So I'm getting my wallet out, and the lady gives me back about 600 baht, and I'm like, what in the world? So I went to the emergency room. I saw a doctor. I went through the pre-screening process, the questionnaire process. I saw a doctor. The doctor sent me to the lab. I got a lab test for blood and urine. Got the results back. I went to a doctor. He diagnosed me and he prescribed me. I got my prescription of antibiotics. and now I'm leaving the hospital, and my entire cost for the whole thing together is under $30. So back home I pay $800, over 800 bucks a month for healthcare with Kaiser. I have an operation that I need to do for a navel hernia, and Kaiser refuses to tell me how much it's going to cost, even though the law says that they have to. I've been over and over it with them on the phone. When I get back and I call Kaiser again to deal with this, I'm going to record everything I go through so that you guys can see the difference between how things are done in our country and how things are done in other countries. And in America, I really believe that we're paying for that we're, for one, we're kind of like guinea pigs a little bit. They'll use stuff on us if they want to get data for it. But also that we're way overcharged for our medicine, and the access to healthcare is very, very limited over there. Because like me, I was going to get my hernia surgery last month with Kaiser, and I canceled the appointments because they refused to tell me what it was going to cost. They just said, oh, it's going to be your deductible. I'm like, come on, man. The law says that you have to post your prices, and you have to tell the people you're operating on what their costs are going to be. But they don't do that. They switch you around from phone to phone. They try to wear you out, sending you to other people. Nobody wants to help you, and then they tell you to go see a doctor. Oh, by the way, it's $100 for the doctor. Well, before Obamacare, I shouldn't say before Obamacare, after Obamacare, after I had health insurance, I was still only paying $55 a visit with Dr. Nishigaya in Anaheim, my personal doctor I've had since I was 5 years old. They wanted me to go to Kaiser and pay $100 for a doctor, and even though Obama told us we could keep our doctor, I couldn't keep the doctor I had since I was 5 years old. So anyways, to make a long story short, the healthcare out here is good quality. I've heard many good things about, not just my experience, but from other people. I've heard many, many good things about the healthcare in Thailand, and under $30 for everything. Just the emergency visit, just going through into the emergency room in America probably would have cost me a couple grand. Just walking in the door. I threw in a little bit of bias there, but that's how I feel about our system. It's kind of predatory. Americans are paying the price for the industrialization of medicine, and we're not getting good treatment. I still have my hernia right now, and they want to charge me $10,000. I will be talking to the hospitals about getting my hernia surgery out here in Thailand, and I will be doing a video on that to show you guys. I guarantee it's going to be a lot cheaper, lot cheaper, and you'll see the whole process. I'll walk you through the whole thing. So something to look forward to in the future. Have a good day, guys.